This keyboard is a game changer. Let's look at some results, right? The rank 2 Osu player Merami gets a Wooting. Boom! 1,300 PP. Never seen before, never done before. No one has ever gotten close to anything like this. And then, oh, what is that? It's a child from Australia with his Infinity Wooting gauntlet. Boom! 1,371 PP in less than a week. So unless you've been living under a rock, you know about the Wooting 60HE. It uses new technology called rapid trigger. It's kind of crazy. Usually keyboards have to reach this point and then return and then reach the point again in order to get 2 clicks. With the Wooting's rapid trigger, you can completely ignore this idea. You never have to return to the reset point. Your keys activate whenever you want and deactivate whenever you want. Now you might see why this is kind of insane for Osu players specifically. People are streaming 300 BPM these days, so completely removing the time it takes to reset a key press is huge. I got one of these keyboards myself and I could honestly immediately feel the changes. It almost felt like cheating the way this keyboard was so much more forgiving than other keyboards. You know when you're playing a map and you just know that you messed up that pattern right there? Usually I do miss and I'm like, oh yeah, oh I'm trash. But with the Wooting, sometimes I just don't miss when I get that feeling. But this keyboard is not all ups and no downs. There are some players that have just decided to ditch this keyboard. According to a lot of players, the Wooting can actually make your technique worse. Like this guy. KHZ is a top 100 Osu player who has played a lot of speed. Like every player at the time, I feel like KHZ wanted his try at the Wooting buff. After he played with the Wooting for a bit, he came to a conclusion that not a lot of people expected. He got worse. Now there are a ton of things that could have happened here, but I don't think it's worth speculating on his behalf because, you know, we don't have his personal experiences with the keyboard, and the only way for us to know would be to call him on Discord and ask him. But I'm not gonna call him on Discord just to ask him about a keyboard where we click circles to anime music, right? Bro, behind you, bro. Look behind you.
Nice figurines in the background.
Oh, dude, I have it up for presentation. You already know. Pause. This is KHZ, and the first thing he noticed were the anime bitches in the back. This is when I realized we got something going on here.
Okay, so I actually was one of the pioneers, you know? There was the Apollo tweet. I actually got mine before the Apollo tweet. So I was sitting in a Discord call with Saito, Siru, I believe it was. And they were like, yo, this keyboard is fucking broken. KHZ, get this, tell nobody about it. It's gonna break the game if it gets out. So I literally signed a contract with my own blood, okay, to not tell anybody that I'm using this keyboard.
So you guys tried to hide it from people?
They tried to hide it, and I was like, okay, just... I'm gonna not say anything. I will just try it for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't expect much from the keyboard because usually when people go like, yo, this keyboard is like super cracked, it does so much for your tapping, it usually never does shit. Let's be real.
It's like the cheater keyboard that people use over and over.
Exactly.
You know, but I feel like the Wooting, the rapid trigger is actually something new. You know, it's not just like.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty helpful.
Yeah. So why do you think it didn't work for you?
So yeah, well, okay, of course, it didn't work out too well for me. I did have some improvements from the keyboard, but it was nothing significant. So I only felt like on bad days I could get away better with my poor technique. But it wasn't really that I broke my skill cap. Could be for different reasons. I wasn't too active at the time, so I was a bit rusty. But even when I grinded for a few hours and de-rusted, I still didn't really push further than my peak. I do believe the keyboard is like the best pre-built keyboard money can buy right now. The build quality is pretty nice. It sounds pretty damn dope. I think my technique was too refined already. I've spent way too much time on usual keyboards. I always bottom out the switch. So I never really mash. So my theory kinda is that the Wooting keyboard works for people that have a lot of raw speed. So like mrekk, single tapping 360 BPM, having super high raw speed, being able to stream like 260, 270 quite comfortably, I must say. He gets a huge buff because he can get a lot better away with his speed, his raw speed technique, not being so well defined for actual streams. So that's what I think is like very beneficial.
You found your technique already, but then the Wooting kind of made you had to refine it.
The Wooting wasn't a bad thing for me. I actually did play better with the Wooting than without. Just because I played on it, I forgot how to play on other keyboards. That's why I got rid of it, because I didn't want to get dependent on it. And
Right.
it didn't help me out that much. So I was just like, I don't care. I got a good offer for it, so I'm gonna sell it.
Right. Wait, how much
Like-
you get for it? I won't put this in the video.
500.
Oh my god!
I mean, you can put it in the video. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
The guy who, and I mean, for 500, I don't see the value in keeping the Wooting. So of course I'm gonna sell it.
That is true. This is kind of perfect. Would you say it's worth its price?
Really depends on the person and on the player as well. So if you're rich,
Who cares? Fuck it.
who cares?
You're right.
But just buy what you want. But if you are a person who has to work for their money and knows what money is worth, probably not. First of all, it's Osu. You're clicking circles, man. Don't spend your entire life savings on a circle clicking game. Unless you're like top 100 and you're making your money from playing Osu. Go ahead, buy it. Sure, it's a fun thing to try out. But
Yeah,
for the average 5-digit, no, not worth it. Sorry.
Oh, no, I agree. Completely fair. I would say the big thing is this, because this affects the most players, right? Do you think that the Wooting itself would help the average player?
So, I like what aetrna said about this. So, Merami, he tweeted, if you have the tapping on the table, you can kind of imagine having the same performance on the Wooting keyboard. I kind of like that analogy, because it kind of makes sense. If you have... You can try it. If you have the raw tapping on the fucking table, that's gonna be what
Wooting?
the keyboard actually recognizes.
Because rapid trigger is just exactly that. Some people were saying like it's obviously not gonna make your fingers move faster. It's not gonna make your brain read the map better, but it'll just like fix the little mistakes that you make in the map.
Yeah, you get it way better with mistakes, with poor technique essentially.
So yeah, there are downsides to the Wooting keyboard, and it's not just a direct buff to whoever uses it. I feel like too many players don't realize the fact that playing with what you're comfortable with will always be the best for you. And looking through the past, so many players have tried to just skip steps to becoming better at the game. There have been tons of top player keyboards, top player tablets, top player keypads, top player fucking everything. You can kind of compare buying the Wooting keyboard to buying a 144Hz monitor, and the idea that you'll sort of get an innate buff to some of your skill sets without having to work for them. This is obviously disregarding the fact that you'll have to physically adapt to a new keyboard rather than just having a faster monitor. So if I had $200 and neither of these, I would definitely choose the monitor. But let's be honest, there are no shortcuts to becoming the next mrekk. There are no shortcuts to being able to stream 220 BPM. I'm honestly low-key tired of seeing players spend hundreds of dollars when they could just spend like 40 bucks. The Wooting keyboard's not gonna make your fingers move faster. It's not gonna make you be able to read the map better. It'll just fix some mistakes that you make every now and then. And just because it made someone else better doesn't mean that it'll make you better. It doesn't mean that it won't help you. I mean, we have proof of it helping players. It's helped me a little bit, but those positives also come with negatives. One of those negatives being $200 out of your pocket, or maybe $250 now because it's out of order, so people are going to be scavenging it, so you got to rebuy it for $400. And at that point, is it even worth it? Yes, because if it buffed mrekk, it's going to buff me too. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Watch this video, watch this video, watch this video. Subscribe over here. Oh, have a good day.